All right, guys. So thanks for joining Excel Island live stream, and welcome back to the channel. If you're an existing subscriber, and welcome if you're a new subscriber. My name is Abatan Sheriffdeen, and on this channel, I have been actually a live streaming a learning journey, which is to upskill myself as a freelance data analyst, but using the resources, the Datacamp platform. I'm currently subscribed to a 1 year subscription, the Datacamp platform, find all the best to maximize it and make good use of it. Don't mind me, I'm just checking, make sure my mic is actually picking voice. So welcome to day 80. So I'll be doing this consistently. I've been actually live streaming consistently for the past 11 days to the 80th day, which is today. The idea to live stream didn't come from day one. So if you're looking for day 1 to 10, the channel, you probably won't see that. But you see from day 11 till today, day 18. So it has been an amazing journey live streaming at these technical skills. Like, these are technical skills, technical tech skills in the tech industry. You get that? So far so good. It has been an interesting journey, and I've found it so I've been so comfortable doing such like this. So I'm actually using the resources on the Datacamp platform, as I said earlier. So I'm on the data analyst in SQL career track on the Datacamp platform. If I go to the career track section here, that career track, you should see this data analyst in SQL career track. So after completing this data analysis in SQL career track, the goal also is to start the data analyst Power BI career track. So you may want to join and subscribe to the channel right now so you miss that. As I'm on the data analyst in SQL career track, I am 87% to the track. There's also data analyst in Python. But after the data analyst in SQL, the goal is to start the data analyst Power BI career track also. So if I check out the data analyst in SQL, 1% to the career track, just last two courses, which is less of coding. If you want to see the part where I actually did a lot of practice and coding, you can check out the previous live stream to see it there. So I'm on the 10th course. After the 10th course, the 11th course, then projects, statements of accomplishment. And the goal is to go online and get a lot of data sets, write a lot of SQL queries. Let me go back to the progress dashboard and learn something today also. So the goal is to learn live stream for 30 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 hour on each live stream. So I'll click on understanding data visualization. So before I continue, so as I said earlier, I'm a freelancer on the Upwork platform, and I am actually a top rated plus freelancer on the platform. I've had major success that is due to the influence of the coach, someone that has actually guided me to the freelancing space world. So his name is Benga DB. Currently has a course called the Freelance Client Magnet course. And what this course does is that it teaches you how to become a successful freelancer also and run a successful freelance business. I'll leave a link to the course in the YouTube description. Make sure to check it out. So let's take a couple of lessons today and add to what we've learned before. I'm on chapter 3 of this course, understanding data visualization. If you want to have a good understanding of chapter 1, chapter 2, do check out the previous live stream. So I continue from here, plotting many variable. I have the slide open on that screen.
To visualize many variables, you'll need to use more advanced plot types. Here we'll look at pair plots, correlation heat maps, and parallel coordinates plots. Pair plots work with up to about 10 variables at once, and they show you the distribution of each variable and the relationship between each pair of variables. Here's a pair plot of LA home prices. There are 4 variables in the dataset, giving 4 rows of panels and 4 columns. Let's explore this piece by piece. Panels on the diagonal show distributions of variables. City is a categorical variable, so its distribution is represented as a bar plot of counts for each city. The other three variables, number of beds. Here we'll look at pair plots, correlation heat maps, and parallel coordinates plots. Pair plots work with up to about 10 variables at once, and they show you the distribution of each variable and the relationship between each pair of variables. Here's a pair plot of LA home prices. There are 4 variables in the dataset, giving 4 rows of panels and 4 columns. Let's explore this piece by piece. Panels on the diagonal show distributions of variables. City is a categorical variable, so its distribution is represented as a bar plot of counts for each city. The other 3 variables, number of beds, price, and area, are continuous, so their distributions are represented by histograms. Panels off the diagonal show relationships between pairs of variables. When both variables are continuous, you see scatter plots of each pair of variables and their correlation. For example, in the second column, 4th row, you see a scatter plot of number of beds versus area. In the 4th column, 2nd row, you see that number of beds and area have a positive correlation of 0.782. When comparing a categorical variable to a continuous variable, you get a box plot and a histogram of the continuous variable split by the categorical variable. For example, in the 3rd column, 1st row, you see a box plot of prices for each city. In the 1st column, 3rd row, you see a histogram of the same thing. The histogram is vertical, so the positions match those in the city panel on the diagonal. Pair plots can be tremendously helpful for quickly exploring a new dataset. For the special case where you have many continuous variables, a close relative of the pair plot, called a correlation heat map, is simpler and scales to visualizing even more variables at once. The idea is that you draw a pair plot, only including the panels for correlations, but instead of showing numbers, you show a color. Correlation heat maps are designed to show relationships between pairs of continuous variables. They're compact, so you can easily compare tens of variables at once. Here's a correlation heat map of a customer satisfaction survey for a Yellow Pages advertising product. Customers rated the importance of product features on a scale from 1 to 10. Where 2 features consistently received similar scores by customers, they are positively correlated and colored in a more vibrant red. Those bright reds in the bottom left show that the price-related product aspects all strongly correlate with each other. Here's a plot of the United Nations country data again. It shows that you can use color on a scatter plot to display 3 variables at once. However, with 4 or more variables, scatter plots can quickly become complicated to interpret. Parallel coordinates plots provide a solution to this when you have lots of continuous variables and want to understand their relationship or group them into clusters. Here's a parallel coordinates plot of the 3 variables you saw before, plus the Human Development Index score. Each line represents one country, and each continuous variable appears on the x-axis, just like a bar plot. To make each variable comparable, the y-axis simply ranges from the lowest value in the dataset for that variable to the highest value. Unfortunately, this plot is a mess because the world is complicated. Let's try splitting the dataset by continent. Now some patterns emerge. The South American countries are quite consistent. Their GNIs are low, and their Human Development Index, life expectancy, and schooling values are mostly between the median and 75th percentile. In Europe, you see a wide range of GNIs, but the other metrics are all high. In Africa, the GNIs are all low, but the other metrics show a wide range. The wonderful thing about this plot is that more metrics can just be added to the x-axis. You can easily compare 10 or 20 variables at once. Let's visualize.
Lots many variables. That's kind of funny. Interpreting pair plot. Get a It's really helpful for the a peer plot is all these matrix. It shows a lot between are you looking here you can see data because peer plot are pairs of let's see. There is a sensitive condition that there are more than 250 sightings of pickery in the sightings about the data. A way to make it bigger so I can easily interpret it. Species, time of hour, feeding per second is the time of target bucket quality, packer and pickery. So this picker and so sizes of picker that is true. And this bar chart here. Packer is the only nocturnal animal in the yes. Nocto nocturnal. I don't know the meaning of nocturnal. But I know it is has to do with that either is active at night during the day. Look at it. Time of day should give us that information. And this blue color here. 12 a.m. That means it's more active during late night. In late night, most animals were traveling at less than 1 meter per second. Where it's caught on camera. Animals less than meter per second. That's time of hour. Is the time of hour? Okay, the speed. The speed. So that's let's interpret this. That's interesting. Interpreting correlation is map. And make this big. Either big two. So if you want to find the relationship pairs of numerical variables, you can use a close relative. You can use a close relative for the pair plus, namely correlation. It takes the correlation score you saw from the pair plot rather than giving you lots of numbers to look at. It displays them using colors better than the pair plots. A great use of this great use case for the products. So here is a data set from a survey on Scotch whiskey consumption. The correlation is each row column shows a brand of Scotch. Cell and cells shows what correlation between drinking one brand in the past 12 months. To categorize statement about the correlation or false, people who drank this Lenlivet were also likely to drink JB. This is what about JB? Likely to drink JB. That be true or false that JB. JB is more the correlation. So people who drank the singleton were likely to drink Chivas Regal. This thing they were likely to drink just is that likely quite say there was no correlation between drinkers of Clan McGregor yeah, and drinkers of Chivas. There was no correlation. That's true. They almost had same color. When you look at the color here, that's same color. So people who drank JB, who drank Livet, were most likely to drink JB. Then Livet, getting closer, JB. Ah. So people who drank Nokado, Nok, Okando, were more likely to drink Makalan. Where is Okando? Two, because red correlation is pretty high. Two, I say that is false. There was no correlation between drinkers of Johnny Walker, Red Label, drinkers of Johnny, drinkers of Johnny Walker Black Label. Okay, there's Red Label, there's Black. People who drank Cliffin Ditch were also likely to drink Bet. Cliffin Ditch, 2A. Also likely to drink this link, but I think that is two at the start again. So there was a correlation, there was no correlation between the cast of Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker, Johnny Walk, Black Label, Walker, Red Label, and Black Label. There's Black Label, there's Red Label. So there was no correlation. But they are both white here. This zero means correlation. That's two. But they are very close to the what? Zero mark. That's two. Trusted. Section. Section. Let's finish chapter theory. Interpreting parallel coordinates. Oh, let's make this one big also. Let's see. North, lowest, middle, highest. So oils from Calabria in the south. West Calabria. Calabria, the south have a wide variety of levels of eicosanoic acid and static acid. Is between the middle. Eicosanoic acid, Calabria, that's two. Steric, that's two. Looking at it, that's steric here. You see I here, the S mark, and eicosanoic also. Okay. Oils from West Liguria in the north have high levels of linolenic acid. West Liguria, high levels of what? Linolenic. Lino. This is it here. Lino. In the middle. Oils from South Apulia. South Apulia. In South Apulia in the north, in the south, are more consistent in fatty acid. Where is it? It's fatty acid. This fatty acid. Fatty acid are more level of fatty acid. These are fatty acid. That's two. Oils from inland Sardinia. In Sardinia have a wide variety of levels of oleic. And Sardinia. Okay. This Sardinia have a wide variety of levels of oleic. Oleic inland Sardinia. That is that limit. This should be false. This should be false. Give it a shot. Ooh, them. Let's see. I didn't figure out the fatty acid part. So that is fair though. Oils from inland Sardinia, wide variety of level of oleic. See the oleic here. South Sardinia. They are both concentrated in one place. There's one missing. Oils, oils from Calabria, South. Let's check it again. South. High variety of levels of Sonic. South Calabria. Is it? That is two. Ferric acid. That is two also. Oils from both regions in Sardinia have low levels of this, of both regions. Okay, both regions. We have two Sardinia. Babylon Sardinia, Coast Sardinia. They are claiming they have low levels. Let's check the low levels of this. Yes, they have both low levels. Okay. Mark is low here. And high levels of linolenic. Here is the linolenic Sardinia. Jesus. Linolenic is still low now. Boys from both regions in the north have high levels of folic acid. Both regions in the have not high levels of folic. That's true. We have finished this chapter. That's it. That is chapter 4. This is the last chapter section. Polar coordinate. Pie charts. Let me download this slide real quick and let's see what it looks like. Okay, finance is coming. I feel I'm not that energetic today. Kind of feeling. So I'm trying to download the slides. I can launch it in email. Because my voice is kind of low and I don't know why. Let's see. Let's take a couple of lessons. This section. Chapter. Oh, that you didn't download very well though. Just a couple of lessons here today.
You've seen a lot of plot types so far, but one type has been conspicuously absent. That's the pie plot. It's a wildly popular plot type, but we've been avoiding it for a good reason. Here's the bar plot of famous athletes by sport. If you convert the coordinate system for the plot from Cartesian coordinates, that is, standard x and y axes, to polar coordinates, you get a pie plot. A pie plot is just a bar plot, where the bar lengths are converted to angles. Unfortunately, this plot is much harder to interpret than the bar plot. For example, it's really hard to answer questions that were easy with the bar plot, like how many cricketers were there on the list? Data visualization research suggests that bar plots are almost always easier to interpret than pie plots. So the answer to the question of when should you use polar coordinates is that they're almost never a good idea. There is one exception, though it's fairly niche. If you have data that has some natural circularity to it, like the time of day or a direction, then polar coordinates can be acceptable. Here's a histogram of animal activity from the Panama camera trap dataset. You saw this as part of the pair plot in the previous chapter. It's a great plot with one problem. The activity from the nocturnal packer appears to be split in two, because the plot doesn't recognize that midnight on the left of the x-axis is the same as the midnight on the right of the x-axis. One possible fix is to convert the histograms to polar coordinates, forming a rose plot. This is slightly different to the pie plot because it's the x-axis that's converted to angles, and the bar heights still remain as lengths. Now, if you look at the packer's activity distribution, it's clearer that it's one burst of activity lasting all night, rather than two separate bursts. Let's explore some circular plots.
We have here. So pie plots. So pie plots, sometimes called pie charts, are extremely popular but often difficult to interpret. They are just bar plots converted into polar coordinates and humans are generally worse at perceiving angles accurately compared to length. So following on from the Scotch Risky data set in the last chapter, here's another data set from the Health Survey for England, this time on school consumption in the Englishmen, this time on alcohol consumption in Englishmen aged 16 or more. So price segments and bar heights represent percentages of responders. Let's look at the pie plot and the bar plot and determine which statement. We have a pie plot here, we have a bar plot here. Okay. The only 75% plus 25 only 75 plus age group had more non-drinkers than people drinking 14 to 35 days per week. Ooh. Consumption of alcohol per week. The only 75 plus age group. Let's look at 75 plus age group had more non-drinkers. Non-drinkers than people drinking 14 to 35 units per day. And people drinking 13, 35, 14, say 14 rather, 14 to 35. Only 75% age group, 75% plus age group. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. The three age group had more than 30%. More non-drinkers. Or none. These non-drinkers, eh? Up to 14, 14 to 35, over 35. Okay, 14 to 35. This 14 to 35 unit per week is high, yeah? It is high, yeah? High, yeah? High, high than the rest. Okay, high. I think that's true. That's false. I think that 75%, they have more non-drinkers. You can't say that. This has more non-drinkers. This is high than this. That's false. So three age groups had more than 35% of people drinking 40 to 34 units, 35 units per week. Three age groups had more than 30%. Let's see. 14 to 35 is 20, is 30. Three age groups, 30 and 30. You're getting close to 30. Yeah, this is also getting to 30. This is also getting to 30. I mean, there are more than three age groups. It's up to 30. It's also up to 30 though. More than 30%. There are more than three. This is more than 30. If I'm mistaken. Towards the middle. This is towards the middle here. This is not even towards the middle here. This is towards the middle. This is towards the middle. That is two. This is towards the middle. That's three. That's three. I say all age groups are less than 20, 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 less than 20. It's not all. So let's see. 50 of people thinking, but up to 14. Yes, 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 yes. The last one is last statement is because there are more than 50% of people thinking up to 14. That's idle. 14 units per day, per week. So those plots plots as there's one good use case for polar coordinates is when the data is naturally circular. For example, when it is compass direction, to plot a histogram with polar coordinates, get a rose plot coordinate, get a rose plot. So here you can see that of wind direction data from a from a meteorologist as knowing the predominant wind direction is important for weather modeling and for the time where to site wind turbines. Wind measurements were taken at 10-minute interval over an 8 month. Look at this program and use plot and determine which statements. Look at this histogram. There's the distribution of wind direction has three peaks. Three. That's two. The predominant wind direction were north and south west. How do we get that from? The predominant wind direction were what? North, south, west. The distribution of wind directions has one peak. Distribution of wind direction has one peak. The predominant wind direction where E and west. Predominant wind direction where east, rather, even northwest there. The second option was the correct answer. You could see that easily. North, south. That's interesting though. Axis of okay, so going back to the dashboard, have to stop here today. Continue August live stream. It should be day 81. Alright, so thanks for staying to the end of the live stream. If you found value in this video towards the end of the live stream, please support the channel by giving this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Don't make sure to also subscribe to the channel and know the first time or you'll be the first to know whenever I go live, drop a new video. Then when I start the Power BI, data analysis Power BI career track. Also, do not forget to check out the course by my coach, Ngadebi, under the YouTube description. See you in the next video on the channel or on tomorrow's live stream. Have a wonderful